Welcome. This will be video 11A in a series of videos discussing the use of pfodDesigner and pfodApp. And as I mentioned in video 10, the first thing we're going to do here with the video, I'm going to call this video 11A, and this is going to refer to string input. We're going to be a very simple graphic, which we'll get to here in a few minutes, and then it'll be just a little bit of demonstration of some of the code that's required to do simple string input. So for code here, what we're going to be doing with video 11A is showing how to start using just graphics with the pfod software. Now when I say just graphics, all we need here is a drawing from the designer software. So the process here is going to be how to start a simple graphic in Designer. Then we'll show the graphic that I put together for a very simple string input example. Then we'll have a look at the starting code for a simple graphic in Designer. Then we'll have a look at the additions I made to the starting code to generate the previous graphics that we're going to be looking at. So for starters, we'll go right into pfodDesigner. And what I want to do here is start a new menu. I'm going to set my target serial to Bluetooth Low Energy because that's what I'm using, the Adafruit UART friend. And then what I'm going to do here is change the menu name. I'm just going to call this, I think I'll just call it menu 11A. Yeah, it's good enough. Okay, I'm going to add a menu item. And all I want to do here is just do a drawing. That's it. So what I'm going to do now is generate code. Write code to file. And in a few minutes here we're going to go ahead and we're going to import that code into into the Arduino IDE and play around with it a little bit. So we'll go ahead now and we'll exit out of pfodDesigner. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to load pfodApp. Now when I load pfodApp here, the menu is going to load is the complete program I've got written for doing the string input. But we'll go ahead and load pfodApp right now. And it pulls up your menu page. Now this is a silver background, and my string input menu down here at the bottom. That's your that's your label for your menu. And then you've got the menu itself is white is the color I've got set, and then I've got this string input button here. Now the string input button here up happens to be right over top of a touch zone area. Now if you want to see your touch zone areas, you can do this if you haven't done this before. You go into connections. We'll do an add edit on this guy. If you go log debug data, save that. When you jump back into your menu, you can see that by turning on log debug data, you've got a dashed line with your touch zone, your character for your letter character, alphanumeric character A there, little A, for your touch zone area. And we'll see that a little bit clearer too when you get into the code, eh? We'll start looking on the code on the computer in the Arduino IDE. So right now, if I go ahead and if I touch anywhere besides the touch zone area, nothing happens, eh? This little twirly symbol up here. When something is happening with the program, you'll see it start to turn to the right, eh, clockwise. So I'll go ahead and I'll open string input. I'll just go ahead and click on string input. And you see it pulls up the prompt page, eh? And I've got this prompt message there, string, and at the bottom of this page I've got text input, you must not exit at this point, and a minimum of save is required. This is, you'll see when we get into the code that you can change and alter that message down there as to what you want to have printed when you pull up your string input page. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to change this to, we'll call it my label. We'll save that. And there my label appears on the screen. And of course, you can go ahead and press string input again and change it to, you know, something else again, and carry on from there. So that's about it for this simple little graphic and this menu. We'll go ahead now and we'll jump over to the laptop, and we'll have a look at that code. Now this file up here on the left here, this video 11A designer code only, that's exactly what we downloaded, or that's exactly what's been transferred from the tablet over to the laptop here, like what we did at the very start of this video. And this one over here, this video 11A string input, this is my complete code for doing the graphic that you know, I demonstrated, eh? So when you go to Designer and you develop your, you know, you pull up a drawing like I showed in that first example there. What you do is all you need is a drawing, right? And what you do is there's 5 places where you got to make changes here. Well, you don't actually absolutely have to make changes, but I don't need a switch, eh? So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and take this switch out of here on this example because it's automatically generated in Designer, eh? So we'll take this out. I think there's 5 places where I got to make changes. 2 will go right down to the bottom here. Take this switch out of here. And this switch is going to come out of here too. And as well, we don't need the push 0 or pop 0, eh? So we'll take those out. And then we're going to come up here to this command line here, A. We're going to take out this switch business here. Okay, we'll go ahead and I'll save that. So that's it. That's the you know, that's the preliminary changes you have to make to the Designer file after you you know, when you pull up a drawing and pull out a drawing in Designer and generate your code and pull it over to your laptop. And that's the only changes you got to make for now. So now what we'll do is we're not going to refer back to this guy again, and we'll look at the code for doing the complete, you know, simple graphics that I had, eh, on that example that we gave there with the one button and putting in a string command, eh? So I guess we'll start at the very top here. So there's this code here's got to go in there. You know, your max text characters and byte current text, and then you know, your pointer to my string. Those are some of this code I got from examples off the website, the developer's website, and some of them I just developed myself or put together myself. It's fairly straightforward, most of this stuff. And then we come on down here to let's see here. This is A command, okay? What I've got, you saw you had a, well, you'll see when we get down to the drawings on the bottom of this page where your touch zone goes in. But this is your command for when you touch your touch zone right here. If drawing command equals A, send this function here, send text input screen. So we'll go down here to text input screen, and this is a code that's required to you know, to pull up a text input screen. And then when you're done with that screen and you hit save, it returns to this character here, this B character right there, which is right here, return from text input. And then we've got this little bit of code here, my string, and then send drawing updates. So what we're going to do is we're going to supply the example of this Eno file with this particular video, so that if you want to have a look at it, you can go through it and see for yourself how things are done, eh? Here I've got some comments in here for your formatting here, like on your menu page, my string input menu. I mean, this BG is for background, and S is for silver, B is bold, -1 is your font, navy is you know, the navy font color. What else we got down here? Okay, this is where we get into the setting up your button, setting up your touch zone, and setting up your label for your button, eh? So here's your button right here, drawing.rectangle, rounded, you know, button for touch zone. The label that goes on that button, string input, touch zone, A, well, there you go. And you'll see a little blurb there in, well, if you go to the pfod spec, page 43, you'll see where the developer's got some information there on drawing active areas and why the size of this touch zone is a little bit smaller than the size of this rectangle. The my string here, That is a well, that's a string that I put in up here. Char star my string, a pointer to my string. And down here in the code, let's see, where are we here? I guess in return from. I've got that there pointer my string, equal to the developer's code here, because some of this code here I got from the developer and just downloaded it. But this is the basic requirements for doing your string input. And that's why I wanted to do these is just to make it a little bit more straightforward on how to do a simple string input, how to do a numeric input, a multi-page selection, things like that, or multi-item selection, single item selection. And yeah, that's about it. I don't think there's anything else to point out here. We'll go ahead and like if you've got several touch zones, I mean they'll get put in up here, right? If drawing command equals A, okay, the next one will be if drawing command equals C, or if drawing command equals D for your touch zone, or if it's an F or G or H or I or whatever. That's where your if commands go in, and then your corresponding code right here. Like this is what you wanted to think, what you wanted your code to do when you press item A, send text input screen. So that's about it for this one. Then I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down, and we'll see how it all looks. Thanks.